So let's talk about my crazy idea. Like most of you, I have a growing dissatisfaction with the current political environment. You know, think tanks, political parties, lobbying. So I had this crazy idea of creating something new, a community of people that uses the power of the internet to influence public policy. You can think of it as a political party without elections, you can think of it of next generation politics, but it's not just a movement.
Hold on right there. If you're anything like me, you're probably thinking, what the f does that even mean? Making an explainer video on that is hard. We have to convince you that that's actually interesting and important.
It's not just a think tank, it's a public policy influencer. So let's build this community.
A new community called EPIC. Okay, that's a start. But we said it's actually more than that. So what's the actual idea behind it?
Revolutions don't happen in office hallways. They don't happen between suits and binders. Today, true change, true progress takes place on the internet. And from there it moves to the street. That's where we're going to be. We think politics is not anymore about where you make your mark every 4 or 5 years. It's not about the petitions you sign, it's not about the surveys you answer. We're reimagining political participation as a whole new experience. A think tank, political movement, yes, but as a community.
A new think tank, but also a community. One of those faraway policy influencers, but this one is personal. Maybe this one is relatable. This one you can actually reach, you can talk to. Maybe for once, this one speaks for you because it actually speaks with you and understands you. Now we're getting somewhere, but the idea is still a bit vague. Redefining what it means to be a think tank is hard, but you won't be causing real change without real change makers. So, it's worth a shot. Being part of EPIC, what does that mean? Because we're reimagining what it means to be a think tank. We're going back to the drawing boards for the fundamentals of EU policy making, like this one.
We need to change this.
This one.
We need to change Europe.
And this one.
We need to reform it, but not like this. All right, let's go.
At EPIC, you get to ask, how can we get these incomprehensible policy talks from the hallways to the street, making them personal, about you? And how can we empower people over the internet to shape politics together so that they do good for all?
Our institutions were not built for this world, which is changing very fast. So we need to reform the EU, but reforming is not about replacing, it's about making our union better for everyone. And it's true, you cannot fit everyone in the same room, but hell, the internet is big enough.
This mission highlights what we can do with just updating our methods, shifting our focus. But before we go on, let's quickly talk about how we're able to pull this off. Because how we work in our case is actually more important than what we ultimately work on. We're not a think tank how you know it, not the typical policy influencer you follow online either. We are what we call a thinking movement.
Altogether, we've lived and worked in this city for a few decades now, and we've grown frustrated with the way it communicates, the way it works, or the way it thinks it works for everyone. But we're not going anywhere. We know how to influence politics. We're keeping the thinking part of the think tank and the movement part of the political movement to create a thinking movement, a real platform for change.
As a thinking movement, we do what we're good at, that is influence politics. But we do it directly for and with the citizens of Europe.
And we've said it before, we're not your normal, traditional think tank. We're not united under one single political view, but we are united in the fact that we are unapologetically pro-European. We have so many things in common, and we have to stay together to create 3 things. First, a sustainable union. We're all in this together. Sustainability is our #1 priority, and we have to lead the world by example. But we cannot do this by sacrificing our industries and our competitiveness. There's no sustainability without the industry, without innovation, and without technological advancement. Number 2, a secure union. We're reading exactly the same news as you are, and we understand that European defense and European security are non-negotiable for our autonomy. Security is the foundation upon which we can build everything else: economic prosperity, technological advancement, and sustainability. European defense is a geopolitical necessity. 3. A social union. The European future really lies with all of you out there. Social unity is also a geopolitical necessity. We all have to come together as a strong and resilient society if we are to change. And for that, we have to take care of our health, we have to take care of our children and their education, and we have to take care of each other.
While these are fine positions, they're the kind of position you may find in other think tanks and NGOs all over the place. So the question we obsess over is:
so how do we talk about these things, including the stories and needs that are personal to you?
It might seem convenient that EPIC believes combining think tank work and advocacy with the democratic drive of movement creates this holistic environment solving all of our problems. But this isn't a new idea. It's a lesson history taught us over and over and over. Ideas alone will change the world. If a handful of people believe in an idea, an organization built on it at that point is hardly more than a manifestation of a surprisingly harmonious dinner table politics discussion. It is only when we're rebuilding the world around us according to the idea that things start to change fundamentally.
Because what you usually have with political parties and think tanks, it's a small group of people who usually influence political decisions. And everybody claims to talk on your behalf.
We, as a society, have come far in our efforts to wrap our head around the internet and how to live with it. But success stories of online citizen engagement are told elsewhere. We have individual people in Brussels who attempt to break the bubble and try their best as political influencers. But too often, they end up preaching to the choir. Just as 5 people with an idea are a better dinner debate, a handful of influencers are just better newsletter. The real transformation will come when we start centralizing our effort into one revolutionizing platform for change. And that's what we want to build towards with EPIC.
EPIC represents every single person in Europe that owns a smartphone. And for those who don't, we will come to your classrooms, we will come to your nursing homes, we will come to your town halls.
If you got to the end of this video and we had shown you the way we work and hinted at what's possible here, that would be pretty good. But a great video would probably end on a more personal note because we won't convince you to join this community unless you truly believe in what we're building.
Because only with you we can break apart the policy-making establishment and put it back together again. Only this time we make sure that it's not just a group of people that influence the decisions, but it's the hundreds and thousands of people that want to be heard. This is not politics. This is the future. Let's meet there.